strangers. Like if you try and touch him, he's gonna, like if you just ignore him, he's gonna be totally cool with you. He might come up and sniff you. It's when you try and touch him that he'll be like, what are you trying to touch?
And equipment stuff, like getting someone else to walk him or sit him or something while they're away. Like if his muzzle's on, I can fiddle with his equipment.
Now the like the weirdness you mentioned of new people, where do you find that? I know you said it's when they come up and try to interact with them.
It's not even new people. It's dominant men that are mainly the issue, or dominant people. If you come in and stare down at him and stare him down, he's right away gonna get.
I don't even know if it's that though. Like my mom comes over every morning. She's 4'11".
Sure.
The most gentle person you'll ever meet.
Sure.
And if she moves the wrong way, he's like, holy shit, and like he'll just like.
But that's right in his space.
And sometimes fear barks. So.
Yeah, he'll give them like warnings.
Yeah.
Definitely growls under his breath at anyone that's in the house, which I'm assuming that's just his territory. So it's just
he'll growl, but then he doesn't always move away. Like he growls and then he's like, I'm super uncomfortable.
Yeah, he'll freeze.
And it's like then leave.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know to retreat.
Has he ever bitten anybody before?
He bit the vet. And
he was in a crate and he was heavily sedated when he did it.
Yeah, sure.
And the vet had big leather gloves on. And
like pulling him out of the crate kind of thing. Yeah.
When I told the vet I didn't want to leave him alone, and the vet told me to leave.
Yeah.
We would love to go on vacation and be able to comfortably have him go get boarded or something, or have someone stay with us and walk him or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah, I understand. Just so I want to make sure we have like a good plan today so you guys can take something away from this. So just based on my initial observations of him, obviously seems fairly well-mannered from the standpoint of, you know, as we were driving up, I mentioned it. It's actually funny, we didn't realize that we were going to be working with you. So we pulled up and we're like, man, look at that GSP over there. We're like, he looks pretty well behaved. So like clearly you guys have done a good job with him so far, right? Which is good, right? Okay, well,
and Jesse,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So obviously, you guys have done good work so far with him, right? A lot of the hunting breeds and working breeds and stuff like that, they because they have such like a fast nervous system with things, they could get really overwhelmed really quickly and act really impulsively on it, right? And when they're not in a very, very comfortable state of mind, you'll see that turn into those situations with like the fast twitch, like head smacks or nips or bites or those situations you've seen, right? So what we've got to do first and foremost with this dog is we've got to make sure, like starting today, you guys have got a plan where every time this dog is going to be around new people, or not even new people, people outside of the immediate family, right? So you guys and the kids, that we're stacking positive associations with them, right? And that doesn't mean like pumping them full of treats or doing anything like that. But but that means like literally right now, he's approached all of us. He's been a little bit apprehensive about it, but he's approached us, he's sniffed us, and then he kind of backed away, but nothing scary happened. Right? Because we didn't interact with him. We weren't putting pressure on him. Obviously, I'm going to test him here in a minute and see when I go to interact with him what he does, obviously. But he really needs to be in a position where he's around a lot of people that truly understand that they just have to leave him alone, right? And I'm assuming you guys have kind of done a good job of setting that boundary up until this point, right? But if we're in a situation where there's not going to be people that are going to be doing it, let's say you have a particular family member that comes over the house frequently, and you know, you tell them all the time, literally leave the dog alone, but still every time Mac approaches them, they want to do the, hey buddy, or the,
I don't have anything for you, buddy.
Exactly, right? Or those types of things. Those are the situations where we have to control him using the obedience, right? Because I want him to be able to approach people and sniff them, and like he's approached me a couple of times, or Jesse in a new place, and all of those types of things, and have him realize you can come up, you can sniff, nothing scary is going to happen, obviously. But if we don't feel confident that maybe that scary thing might actually happen, we've got to manage him and keep him away from the situation using obedience, and we're essentially getting him acclimated to being around them by doing that, right? So that's going to be kind of your balance, is if you feel that people genuinely will be able to totally ignore him, you could have him out, you could have him loose, right? If you don't feel like they're going to be able to do that, he's got to be on his place board then at that point, right? And when he's on his place board, you said you started doing that at the cottage, and you said that's gone fairly well. You noticed he was a little bit more confident with it.
Like
He'll put
even
it
in the back of the
Is
car,
he?
or when we go stay at a friend's place, we bring it in, put it on it.
Good.
But like we still have a brother-in-law who can't help himself, no matter how many times you tell him.
Here's kind of your 3 tiers, right? Tier 1 is the people are good, they're going to ignore him even if he comes up to them. right?
The dads, the grandparents.
Beautiful.
Like they know.
So those people, he could be out, he could be loose, that's great. He's going to stack positive wins with them.
Yeah.
Then you have the people that can control themselves a little bit, but if he comes up to them, they're not going to be able to control themselves. Yeah, so that's where we use our place bed, or if we're out and about with him, that's where we use our downstays and stuff like that, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the ones you can't trust at all. That, regardless if you have him on place, you have him in a downstay, or you have him loose, there he's going to try to approach him or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Those are the people where obviously you would just put him away in those situations.
Okay.
And if you could do that and even set yourself like a month time frame or a 2-month time frame where you could ensure that one of those 3 steps you're following at all times, you're going to make sure that he doesn't have a single negative encounter with a person, even negative from the standpoint of like he gets really spooked and then you kind of set yourself back a little bit or anything like that. And you're going to notice just from that his confidence is going to start to really come up a lot, right? And the longer you do that for, what actually winds up happening is their threshold also increases to, if every once in a blue moon somebody does go, oh, hey, you know, or something like that, because he's so programmed to not be on edge around them because it rarely ever happens, his threshold will be much higher to it and he won't be as responsive to it. Okay, so I want to just kind of interact with him a little bit here to start, kind of see where we're at with that. Here, bud. Let's reel you in. Oh, you a nervous Nelly? Oh yeah, come on.
Is it better that we're kind of here?
Yeah. I'll handle all this. Come here. And all I want to do right now is just have him in my space right now.
Oh my, okay.
It is a very fine line, like you were mentioning, though, of like if I ignore him, he's totally fine. But the second you go to actually interact, that's when he starts kind of firing off with things.
Like anytime anyone just goes to touch me, touch
Yeah.
his head.
Hey.
I've never seen him on
This is what I was talking about.
I just don't want it to come off. That's all.
It should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's not?
The pinch or the muzzle. Yeah. He's fine. It's not going to come off. There you go.
I wanted him to experience where like nothing bad's gonna happen. Let him have a freak out like that, and be like, no one's gonna do anything to
Good
you.
job,
I did
buddy.
it once with my mom. Like I held him, like kind of hugged him, and I'm like, Mom, come pet him. And she's like, I don't want it. And I'm like, just pet him. And she's like, it just, and
Yeah.
he kind of froze like that.
Yeah.
But I was hugging him, like he knew that he does much better if we're there.
Yeah.
But
Generally, I would try to avoid like that, playing out like that. Really right here, the reason why this is gonna work a little bit better in ultimately helping to get past this is we're really forcing him to do the work, right? So I'm making him actually come to me, I'm making him actually stay next to me, and then when I pet him and he tries all those things that generally make the scary thing go away, he's realizing that they don't work, right? Because that's really a lot of this. You have an insecure dog. Like, he's not like aggressive from the standpoint of like, oh my God, I want to hurt other people and stuff. He's just scared.
Yeah.
And he's learned that putting on a big front like that makes the scary thing goes away, right? So that's kind of like the 4th caliber of working past things. Like we described how we have them around people in 3 different ways, obviously.
Yeah.
The 4th way is, and this I wouldn't even try to do on your own, obviously, but if you have people that can, like myself or Jesse or whatever, work past the actual problem, that's essential as well. The first couple times are always the hardest too. Like you notice how intense of a reaction he had when I first went to do it. I call that like the icebreaker moment, you know? He's so used to it working and suddenly it's not working. So he has to like intensify it, right?
He doesn't even look
Hey,
at dogs.
come here.
He walks
Good
straight.
job, buddy. Good job. And he's really loosening up. Like all his muscles and everything are like much less tense than they were. Obviously he doesn't like me touching his butt, but
You haven't
whatever.
gotten there yet, though.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
He's like, we're friends.
There you go. Look at that.
So I don't know if you tell him what
Come here. And I'm kind of changing the picture up a little bit by standing, because
Yeah,
obviously
you are,
that makes
yeah.
me more over him. It's a little bit more of a defensive position for him. So, so we'll just work through it all the same, just like I did the sitting. Good job, buddy. Okay, come on. He said, why are you letting this happen? This is the worst thing ever.
It's not up. Like normally he's secreting.
Yeah.
Absolutely gross.
What?
I'm happy he's not.
You don't know, like he's
Well, we're kind of downwind of it. I figured.
Yeah.
He'll do this like
Do you by chance happen to have a shorter leash?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. Hold on, bud. Let me put this on.
Those are the moments.
Collaring, I know. I gotta put the leash on you, dude. There we go. Look at that. So same deal. Anytime we find a trigger like that, we'll just kind of keep working through it. So obviously the leashing, going in with both hands like you were just saying. Come here.
It's like stop.
I know. Good job.
That's what I noticed last time.
Hey,
One hand versus both hands.
come here. Hey. And it's interesting, like he's not really trying to bite. He's just thrashing around, you know? So again, as I was saying, trying to work past that two hands thing here next. The petting at this point isn't a big issue, but coming in with both hands, obviously this is next trigger, so.
And he was like, I saw the breeder, not like I know it's a genetic thing, but I did
Yeah.
see the breeder like treat him like a dog. Like,
Sure, yeah, yeah.
In the truck, out the truck. Maybe that's.
You're free! So I'm just gonna work on putting this on and off a couple times just for the sake of drilling past that. Hey, bud.
Are you good? You need a snack or anything?
No, I'm good.
It's a cool dog though. Pointers?
So good.
Yeah.
Right.
Similar to what I've experienced with him a little bit, where you're really good for a little bit, all of a sudden he has like a little bit of a freak out, he goes over threshold, and then getting him back from that, it's like he goes up, all the way, and then you gotta start over.
Good job, buddy.
And we've also had a whole hour or hour and a half session before where he's cool with the cucumber the whole time, right?
He's like the cutest picture.
He's very cute, and that's why everybody constantly wants to touch him.
Link was choked on him. He has one of the big sticks for it.
Come here. Good job, buddy. Come here. And notice no commands with any of this. This isn't even really about corrections or anything. The reinforcement behind the behavior is him realizing that I'm not going away. That's it, you know. Come on, bud.
I was wondering if it's okay that we take off for a few minutes and see how we interact without it.
No, you guys can stay. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna go over there, and when we come back,
Yeah.
it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah. We'll just go swap him out with a different GSP. We'll be like, here, look, he's great.
Totally.
But I want to have people interact with him when
Yeah.
they're not there.
Yeah.
Like for a vet visit, I have to be like
Sure.
right there.
Yeah. This will help with like the vet visit stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Is your grandpa being able to do this?
Now, is this something we could implement with Alan, their family member that comes by that he has his biggest issue with, or is this something?
Yeah, if somebody is one, brave enough to do it, and two, they're going to be able to kind of keep their composure while they're doing it. Because obviously you see how calm I'm being through this. I'm not like yelling at him or anything. I'm just working through it, right? It's just not working.
Yeah.
You absolutely could, yeah.
Yeah, he knows like when we had to pull out the clothes.
Yeah.
As soon as Alan came with like information,
Sure.
the door, he just lost it. So I'm
Yeah,
like, you're not actually helping. So how do I help you?
Yeah, yeah.
Just by watching kids.
Yeah. And fully expect, I tell everybody, like, it's gonna be just as intense as it was right at the beginning with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be prepared for that as well. Oh, you got a Canine Academy leash. Look at that.
First, and then
That's funny.
my
favorite flip.
We'll get him to watch this first and then see if he's up for the challenge.
Yeah.
But you know, the more reps, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And that was the whole idea, that we wanted to muzzle condition him and stuff so that nothing can happen.
Yeah.
It's just.
Because like I said, he really isn't trying to like hurt. Even when he slipped that muzzle there for a second, he kind of punched me in the hand with his mouth. And he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on.
You know, like.
Yeah.
Fights can happen.
I mean, it's still not appropriate, but you know.
My dad said, like, my dad's like, my skin's getting
Come here.
fragile now. 'cause
Yeah.
it's getting
Yeah,
old.
sure.
And he's like, he
Good
just hit
job,
me
buddy.
with
That's
it.
on video, Jameson.
Yeah.
He said,
Good job, dude. Cool, so here's what I want to do next. Jesse, how has he been with you historically? Are you able to do all of this stuff or no?
Not really.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you do this next because I want to generalize this to another person. So just take the leash. You're gonna start off with no eye contact or anything. You can go ahead and just sit down, stand up, whatever. Just start with petting him. And you know, if he does try to kind of lunge and freak out and stuff like that, just calmly continue doing it. And then obviously as he does well with it, you can get a little bit more invasive and stuff, but we'll progress to you putting the e-collar on and off once he's doing well with that. So kind of stages I went through, reiterating them. So sitting down, you're generally not super towered over the dog or anything, so it can be a little bit easier. So I started with that, kind of petting him all over sitting down, progressed to standing up, progressed to collars on and off, right?
Yeah.
Those are kind of the 3 levels of intensity you'll have.
Here we go again.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, you know, obviously he knows her a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the hardest situation.
Yep.
But as you generalize this from one person to the next person to the next person, it does get a little easier, a little easier, a little easier, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, just having someone come in that he has no idea who you are.
Sure.
and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, it's big. And the really important thing is him realizing, like, yes, he thought I was going to do something really scary, but nothing scary happened.
Yeah.
You know, that is a very important step. Because if I reassured him, like, I'm not going to do anything with the e-collar with him today, because if I reassured him, okay, we did all this work, I'm not a threat, and then all of a sudden we're going to go do all this training, and I'm going to be using the e-collar a lot and all that,
like,
you
oh
know,
my God.
it's going to be like, oh, okay, you do suck.
yeah. And this to me is worth everything. Just having
Sure.
them interact
Yeah.
with other people.
Nice.
But this is great.
And you can even start, if you wanted to make it easier in neutral environments. You know,
Yeah.
like whoever you want to have do this first, maybe go somewhere and have them do it outside,
yeah,
you know?
for sure.
get my dad to do this.
Hope he's up for it.
He wants to.
I know.
They want to.
Now, do you think it's better not to give him a command or anything and just put his stuff on?
Just
or
put it
put
on.
him in a sit
No,
or whatever? It doesn't
just,
matter?
yeah, just put it on. No commands here.
Like, he's a smart dog.
You see he's kind of tensing up a little bit there, but we'll see if he makes a good decision or not. That's pretty good.
I just wonder if he'd be any different if we were out of sight.
Honestly, a lot of times if you're out of, like, let's say you truly left and like 20 minutes had
Good.
gone by, he probably would be better.
That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because right now we're also not so much at this exact moment, but at the beginning I was fighting that urge he wanted to just get back to you guys.
Right.
Right? So in addition to me doing something he really didn't like, he's also trying to escape me and I'm restraining him from doing so, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll often try to hide behind gates.
Yeah.
That's so
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you.
Can be pretty stubborn. We were up at the cottage, just my dad and me and the dog, and I had really bad gout. I couldn't get up. My
Yeah.
dad tried taking him out that morning.
Yeah.
And
He said no thanks.
he got him outside, but then
Yeah.
got the
He did
leash
what he
off of
does.
Oh,
off of him. And
Yeah.
he ripped the leash off and took off.
Oh,
and it
boy.
was like 8 hours.
Oh,
with the whole
Jesus.
neighborhood looking for him. And then as soon as they get back,
Where do you wind up going?
Mamie walked into the bush and
We'll see if we can get walking
So same deal. Let's you can just sit down somewhere and just hang out with him. Nothing crazy.
there's some farms that will teach them how to hunt.
Yeah.
Trees
Is that something that you would do? Do you do hunting?
yeah,
don't
we.
yet.
A little bit?
We
Yeah, yeah.
want to. That's what he lives for. Like, we love to
Sure.
see him in
I'm
action.
hunting a porcupine. I'm even joking.
My dad was a hunter.
Yeah.
Bear, moose, and deer.
I don't like shooting big
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah,
I'll shoot
sure.
birds and,
Yep.
and have fun like that, but I don't.
We're not into deer.
So you said your cottage is way up north then, or?
Yeah, we're north of Perry Sound, and it's all crown land all around us. Lots of
Yeah.
like it's all forest.
Yeah.
And we only have 5 neighbors there.
Yeah.
But there's rattlesnakes.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
We've seen them.
Yeah, this is actually my first time in Canada. I've never been here before.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Come up to the cottage. You can see up north.
yeah. I've always wanted to come up. I mean, it's cool. I mean, this city is unbelievably massive. It's
Yeah.
shocking how big it is.
Yeah.
So,
No, cottage country is
Yeah.
fantastic, though.
Yeah, we love it up there.
Yeah, and that's kind of, they do that pretty much every weekend, and the family goes. And
so what you could progress to next with him is stand up, walk around a little bit, and kind of pet him a little bit while you're standing.
Come up to the cottage, and then you can see how he does with Alan. I'm not even joking.
Would you say that's like 3 hours
No.
north? Yeah.
You should just give Alan the rundown and properly structure it so that he's super comfortable and do the exact same drills the same way.
Yeah, we might
And
start
I
off
could
with,
start
like,
it so he could
sitting
watch.
and petting, and then another day.
Yeah.
we
I
might
think
do
that's a
that
good
way.
idea. Is don't like if he does really well with the sitting and petting, end on success.
Yeah.
You know, don't push it
exactly.
too much.
Yeah, he's just like a
Yeah.
huge trigger for him.
Yep. This is great though. He's doing wonderful with her.
Yeah.
And has he ever met her before?
No.
No. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Never met Brooke.
What's the hype?
I mean, all the dogs love Brooke, which is the ones that don't come to me to take for a walk, she'll just take them. They're afraid of me. They love her. Dogs know her energy.
Looks good. You want to try to take the e-collar off?
Sure.
Then what did he do?
Yay. So progressively, when he gets good doing this, have him pre-muzzled, but obviously the other next step would be, say, I wanted to walk in and take him out with our group or something, I need to be able to put a leash on, put a muzzle on, and get him out of the crate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how might you say from this stage, kind of transitioning that, working him around the crate and then out of the crate? Like,
Yeah. I mean, having him either pre-leashed is one thing that you could do, obviously, on some sort of safe collar.
Yeah.
Depending on how long that they would be gone for prior to you coming there.
Right.
He also, like if it's only gonna be like an hour or so,
Yeah.
he could be pre-muzzled, you know, with
Yeah,
no
yeah.
gear on. That way you could get him out, put everything on, then just take the muzzle off, you know?
Yep.
I wonder if he'll, like, if I'm not on him, he does try to paw it off.
Yeah. So what I wanna do next year is just take a look at some of his just general leash work here. Sit. Really basic, obviously. I know his sit looks pretty good. Take a look at his down here. See how that is? It's not great. Down, come on.
Any pressure
Let's
is
go.
very resistant.
Good, that was almost it. There you go,
I'd
good.
rather not.
Exactly. And then see, with a lot of pressure, right? You just kind of.
Okay, come here. Come on. Sit. Good job, buddy. Down. Right, so we got the first one, worked through it. Good job, buddy. Okay.
They hate, like, this kind of ground,
Yes,
right?
side-eyeing you guys and
Sit.
pulling toward you guys.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, buddy. Down. Good job.
We want to push it, but we want
Okay.
kind of want him to win. But you can kind of see the phases that are small, like in a little bit of a scale.
Sit.
He eventually shades the muzzle out, and you eventually, like, these are the ones
Good
that
job,
belong to
dude.
the box, right?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
you have them for life, so.
That's exactly it. I'm like, we're investing in this dog now. Like,
Down.
he came home with us, and
Good job.
But you can kind of see how he's capable. The breath thing is.
Down. Good.
and I wanted to do this before he got too old. Like, he's gonna be 2.
Nope. Down.
July.
Good.
It's okay.
No. Down.
It's genetic. It would happen anyway.
Yeah.
Nope.
We
Down.
want to do the muzzle with the tweezer. That's
No.
all. That's okay.
So what he's really doing is giving him a position to hold, like a down, and he's holding him accountable to the set.
Okay.
So that it's not how he emotionally feels about the muzzle.
And basically I would start with just this, right? Can I just get it over his face like that, right? And I want to see him stable. I'm taking my time with it, right? Just kind of helping him through this.
And like you said, he won't stay in the down, so every single time he got up, David's mouth.
Good job, buddy.
Back in the down every time. We're doing this right now. This is the activity, and the muzzle doesn't really become a thing. It's just his brain is focused on obedience, what he knows. So he's actually building
Good
confidence,
job.
even though it's a weird scenario. He's like, I better hold this down.
Good job, dude. Right, so this would be the next step. And then I would move to the strapping, right? Okay, good job, buddy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nope. You see, I'm literally needing almost no pressure for any of this, you know. He's being very compliant right now. Okay, come on. Let's go. Come on. Sit. Down.
When I walk home, I usually use his collar, and I get him to sit or cross the street. Like, the first time I tried to get him to sit, took him off by.
Good job, buddy. Okay, come on.
Now I think he's adding some verbals in there.
Sit.
Now he's like,
Down.
adds the loose pressure. Like down uses the paper. Right?
Okay. We really lucked out with the weather.
I know.
I thought it was supposed to rain all day today.
Yeah, horrible rainy morning.
Turned out well.
Sit. Down. Look at that. What a guy. There you go.
He's so he went through the phases of being exactly the way we were trying to touch. That'll be the focus of that exercise for that.
Okay.
To go through the same. Doing great.
Sit. Down. Good. Now I'm intentionally doing it this way where I'm working obviously him staying in the down, but I'm using that as an ability for me to kind of come back into his space. See how he gets nervous from it, right? And then add the interaction, and then at that point.
That is actually also a trigger.
It's a
Like
tough,
when someone
tough one,
comes into
right?
your house and moves a foot into his space or
So,
whatever, that,
yeah.
that growl, that uncomfortability.
Uh-huh. Good
So
job,
this is a
buddy.
really good thing actually and have Alan walk around or whoever's over walk around and be able to hold him accountable.
Because he'll normally run up to the room or like go anywhere else but where they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so making him stay stationary, nothing bad's going to happen. But
Are we buddies?
That magnetic pull he has when someone quickly moves or moves into his space where he wants to freeze up before a fleet. So getting him to work like this and chill into it, I think it's really good for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he looks really good. I think you've got a good dog on your hands. He's just really scared, right? And I think that you really need to approach situations trying to make sure that because we know everything is coming from a fearful place, that we're reassuring him nothing scary is going to happen. And if that thing he perceives that is scary is going to happen, which is people actually interacting with him, we cannot put him in that position unless we are fully prepared to follow through like I did.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't try to overdo that. Maybe pick 1 or 2 people that you could start to work this with, have him build a good relationship with. Like I, at this point, feel pretty comfortable with him. I'm mindful enough of how I'm interacting with him to make sure I'm not spooking him too much, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel comfortable interacting with him, where if I did that 3 more times with him, we'd be good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got to pick like maybe 1 or 2 people you could get to that point with, and then let it ride for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And then maybe a little bit later, pick 1 or 2 more people he could do it with. Don't like take this lesson and be like, all right, we're gonna do this with everybody, every single day, all the time. Because that also could put you in a position where you're just putting so much stress on him, it's not really fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So start with maybe 1 or 2 people, you know?
We'll chat with your dad this weekend.
Yeah. And like I said, you've gotta like fully prepare to commit and follow through with it, you know, because like let's say you try it with your dad and he starts freaking out and your dad's like, I don't know, I don't really want to do this. That's setting yourself
He's
back.
won.
He
Yeah.
won.